It is approximately 17 centimeter long in length. It has synonym, or it is also termed as sword, like it has handle, body and tip. So it can be so it is also given synonym as a sword, short sword. Now specific regarding its part, it has three parts: manubrium, body and xiphoid process. Now only specific regarding manubrium. Manubrium, first I will show some important landmarks. This one is costal facet, both side, clavicular notch, suprasternal notch, anterior surface. This one is posterior surface, inferior border, superior border and two lateral borders. Manubrium, it is broad and thick above and narrow towards the body. It lies opposite to the third, T3 and T4 vertebra. It is nearly triangular or quadrangular in shape. It has two surfaces and four borders: anterior surface, posterior surface, and four borders: two lateral, superior border and inferior border. Now regarding surfaces, two surface: anterior surface, posterior surface. Anterior surface, it is convex from side to side, concave above downwards. In its superolateral parts, it provides an origin to sternocleidomastoid muscle. In its inferolateral parts, provides origin to pectoralis major. Posterior surface is concave and smooth. Below the clavicular notch, it provides origin to sternothyroid muscles. Below the first costal facet, it provides origin to sternohyoid muscles. Posterior surface is related with parietal pleura. Now regarding border, superior border, inferior border to lateral border. Superior border has two important landmarks in living. This is termed as suprasternal notch or jugular notch. This is clavicular notch. Suprasternal notch, oval facet located in the median plane of the manubrium. It provides attachment to interclavicular ligament and deep cervical fascia. Now clavicular notch and oval facets besides the suprasternal notch. It articulates with the sternal head of clavicle, and its margins provides attachment to capsular ligament of sternoclavicular ligament, and its anterior margin and posterior margin. Anterior margin provides attachment to anterior sternoclavicular ligament, and posterior margin provides attachment to posterior sternoclavicular ligament. Inferior border, in separate part, inferior border has a oval facet which articulates with the body and forms the manubrio-sternal joint. Now two lateral border. Lateral border in its upper angle has a cup-shaped depression here which articulates with the first costal cartilage. In its inferior part of the lateral border has a facet with the body which articulates with the second costal cartilage. Now regarding body, it is nearly rectangular in shape, flattened. It has anterior surface, posterior surface, two lateral border, upper end and lower end. Anterior surface flattened, and there are three ill-defined transverse ridges which indicate the fusion of the sternum of the body. And third and fourth segment, there is often seen sternum foramen, which is not seen here, just I am making. Now posterior surface, again it has three ill-defined transverse ridges. Anterior surface attachment, anterior surface on each sides provide attachment to pectoralis major. It is like that, from here to here on each side. In its margins provides attachment to capsular ligament of sternocostal joint. Posterior surface has ill-defined three transverse ridges. In its lower part provides attachment to transverse thoraces. And parietal pleura is related with third and fourth costal notches. Now two lateral borders. Lateral border in its upper part has a facet with the manubrium, which articulates with the second costal cartilage. Now here, from second costal cartilage, third, fourth, fifth, sixth costal notches, which articulates with the third, fourth, fifth, sixth costal notches, and in gap or notches between the third, fourth, fifth, sixth notch gives attachment to intercostal membrane. Here second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and gap between the intercostal notch provides attachment to intercostal membrane. Now its upper end oval has a oval facet which articulates with the lower end of manubrium from the manubriosternal joint. Lower end has a oval facet, or lower end articulates with the xiphoid process and forms the xiphisternal joint. Now xiphoid process, third part of the sternum. It is short, thin, bifurcated, or maybe perforated. It is cartilaginous in young, and in adult it is ossified. It is related with left lobe of liver. In its anterior surface receives insertion of rectus abdominis here, and aponeurosis of external oblique muscle from here to here. Posterior surface is related with diaphragm. In its upper part, specific here, gives attachment to transverse thoraces, and its lower end is related with linea alba. Now to lateral border. Lateral border provides insertion of internal oblique and transverse abdominis. Now here we have finished attachment of xiphoid process, manubrium, body and xiphoid process. Now we will discuss regarding importance of angle of Lewis and sternal angle. Here manubrium and body forms slightly angle. It is termed as angle of Lewis. It is clinically important because we can count the rib from the second costal cartilage, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, as well as arch of aorta turns into descending aorta, as well as there will be arch of azygos vein. Then it will separate superior mediastinum to inferior mediastinum. Trachea bifurcates into right and left bronchi.